Hi there, and welcome to the Call to Cinema. I am Aaron, and we're here tonight in my movie library because we are going to talk about Scream Factory again. I got a really good response to my underrated Scream Factory Blu-rays, non-collector edition episode. And if I got to shed it again, if you have not listened to the Just of This episode with Brian Sauer and hey there some and Stephanie Crawford talking about underlooked Scream Factory releases. Definitely check that out. Hey there, Dave. So I figured tonight would be like I didn't know how long this video was going to go because I do work this week. I do do kind of a listy type of thing. Hey there, Chris. Because list videos can go a little bit faster than collection videos, and collection videos means I would have to go out and get a bunch of stuff, and I had planned an alternate media collection video with Laserdisc and VHS, and I'm not sure if you remember the days of VHS, but those things are heavy after a while. I'm actually not feeling the greatest, so we'll see how this goes. But let's start. Want to dive right into it, or is there any news? Yes, there is Scream Factory news, and I'm going to mention this because I mentioned this on my Twitter. Scream Factory made a big announcement today. One of the great Hammer films, one of the greatest Hammer films in my not so humble opinion, is coming out on Blu-ray in November. I was hoping it would be in October, so that would be part of my October lineup of movies to do. But Brides of Dracula, and if you've not seen Brides of Dracula from Hammer, it's one of their great films. I definitely recommend it. It's coming out in November. It's got a sexy cover. Like super sexy. Chris, you do. And Brides is a good one. Brides has David Peel as opposed to like Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee would do most of them. But it's got a great role for Peter Cushing as well. Hey there, Alan. And it looks gorgeous. The cover art looks gorgeous. If I lived in the U.S., I would definitely get this from Shout Factory themselves because it'll have that sexy poster. And the poster, ooh, it's a sexy looking poster. Just gonna put it out there. It oozes sexiness. The poster, you got your Peter Cushing on there. You got your David Peel. You got your, what was her name again? Madeline. Oh God, she was really trying. What's the sexiest thing I own? Me. I don't know. Good question. I don't know. I guess I'm pretty sexy pictures here of people like Tom Savini and Doug Bradley. So let me open this up because I'm missing your guys' comments. But obviously it's me. What else can I say? All right, let's just see what we got here. The best Scream Factory Blu-rays are the ones with the MST3K versions as a bonus. Fist bump, man. Hey there, Brian. So these here, none of the Mystery Science Theater ones are on any of the collector's editions, though. So can't include those for this particular video. But I did pick 15 or 16. I thought it was 16. Maybe I got one less. If I do, we'll add one on at the end. One thing I did make myself do when I made up this list, because it's already a given. No Wes Craven, no John Carpenter, none of the big horror directors. You're going to get those anyway. Let's be honest. Like those are ones that you're going to get. If John Carpenter's Scream Factory comes out, whether it be like Attack on Precinct 13, the Halloween set, I didn't think it was fair to put those in there because everybody's already going to get them. It's like then I'm just preaching to the choir. Then I'm just telling you stuff you already know, and that doesn't help at all. The box set with Vixen, yeah, you got it right there. Most people that watch my channel think that right there. You see that? That Russ Meyer box set is the sexiest thing that I own. Someone watch. It's a fantastic film. Hey there, Hammer. Well, tonight we're doing 16. Hey, Amy. We're doing 16 Scream Factory collector's editions that you should own that aren't from the big directors. So I don't think any of these are from a big director, but we'll do these one at a time. Are you ready to jump into it? Do you want to jump right in, dive into the deep end? I started on a bidding war for Dr. Sin DVDs. Oh, Dr. Sin's amazing. Was that one of the tins? Because that's a cool one. I actually saw it in theater. Yes, unfortunately, the wrestler Kamala James Harris passed away from. Well, we know what he passed away from, and it's sad to because apparently he was a really really nice guy. You don't see anybody pass away under like any circumstances, but like it's been a rough time, guys. R.I.P. Kamala or James Harris. I think I got the name right there. All right, ready for the list. So, for those that are new here and those that aren't, Russ Meyer box set, but looks a little differently. Do you have the bigger one, like the one where they just put them in like the regular DVD cases? Because there's one, they initially did one, Russ Meyer box set, that was like in DVD cases. It just had like one less film. Yeah, so that one has, I think there's one film like that's on that set right there that's not on the set that you got, but it's not one of the bigger films. It's I think it might have been Pandora Peaks. That might be the one. But I'll do like an overview of this like someday. That's probably gonna be have to. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do it on the channel or not, but we'll see. Are you ready? So yeah, as I was saying, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to go through these 16 here. Please, along the way, let's talk about these films. I'm going to mention the films. I'm going to go over, like I won't always go over all the special features, but I'll go over some of the highlights, why I think this film is why I chose it, and your thoughts on the film. I want to get that as well. I think Brian is Pandora Peaks. You might want to check. I could be wrong on which one it is, but I think it's Pandora Peaks, which was one of the later films that he made with a specific, like, you know, an actress. She was like, I think she was a stripper. He did kind of a film on her. So that might be the one. I know there's like, that's like, there's not a big difference, but that's like, aside from Slimline, that's it. Good choice. Nightwalker's a really good film. I was going upstairs earlier on to watch some Hammer, and I didn't sleep well last night because, as I mentioned on my Twitter, and interesting thing to mention here too, I'll do this right before. So yesterday when I was making a video on here, if you were here yesterday, you remember that suddenly there was a bit of noise from upstairs, and I kind of got silent for a minute while we were on here. And that's because I was listening to upstairs. Now, what had gone on is that some people had come to the door, and they had basically said, well, basically a guy had come to the door, but a girl had kind of come with him, but she was a bit hidden farther down, but I could hear her. My better half couldn't see her. So he knocked on the door and he said, you know, I think there's like a four-wheeler that came through your, it was a really weird story, like that randomly came through your fenced off backyard. Did you see that? And she's like, we don't, you know, it's fenced off and we don't have a four-wheeler. He said, oh, so maybe it's the backyard next door. I just wanted to like check on that for you. So it was an odd conversation, and it was very sketchy. So what we figured at the time is that the person was probably casing the place, and was knocking on the door to see if anybody was home, basically, to see if they were going to be like, you know, anybody could break in type of thing. So last night I put on Daniel's podcast, Cobwebs Gothic podcast, which by the way you guys should be listening to. So you know you got 3 podcasts I'm telling you right now to listen to. There's more. Don't worry, I'm going to give you more podcasts, more homework, but good homework. Got Cobwebs the Gothic podcast. Everybody listen to that. Just a Disc, Pure Cinema. You got those 3. Such goodness in your life. Anyway, so I spent till over 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning last night, awake, like listening to the podcast, coming up and down the stairs, checking around, checking the doors, checking the windows, looking to see if there's anybody outside. So it was a bit of a tense night. You know, wanted to make sure everything was okay. My better half, she was luckily she was sleeping, but I had to, you know, somebody's got to guard the home front. That's what you do, right? So that's a little, hopefully, interesting story for you, and that's why I'm probably a little bit out of it today. All right. Are we ready? Because I want your thoughts on these films. We're going to start off with one that the year that this came out, I gave this release of the year. Like there was box sets and everything that came out, but this movie here, this Scream Factory, if you've been following my channel for a long time, this Scream Factory here got release of the year from me on my channel. It got my highest recommendation the year that it came out. And that is Dolls. This is Stuart Gordon's Dolls. And if you have not seen this film, now some of these may be, I'm not sure. Scream Factory is putting stuff out of print so quickly that I'm not quite sure which one of these are going to be out of print, which ones aren't. I can't keep up with that. But either way, like you can find these like eBay and places like that as well. It is out of print. This is amazing. Have you talked about this one, Daniel, on your podcast? You don't have. This is gothic because this is gothic. It's super cool. It is really well done, and I'll show the interior artwork as well because I really like it. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my kids' favorites as well. My kids actually have their own very copy of this. It is kind of an early start on the whole, like, you know, later, this is Empire Pictures, but when Full Moon would come into play, you'd get to see like a lot of killer doll films, whether it be Puppet Master or Demonic Doll, you know, whatever the hell they're called. But this is a masterful one. Right here, the Punch character is particularly interesting in that it does have a huge twist with this character at the end of the film. It's brilliantly done. It's a kind of like it's set in like in this one house overall. There is an amazing fantasy sequence with the teddy bear that that has to be seen to be believed. This one here kind of had like 2 audio commentaries and a brand new retrospective on here, which pretty much they talked to Stuart Gordon, they talked to Brian Yuzna, they talked to some of the stars of the films. And if you are a fan of the group Aha, who did that amazing video, Take On Me, which is an incredible 80s song, then the girl in the Aha video, the blonde-haired girl that's you know, escaping from that comic strip, is right here in this film Dolls. She's one of the girls that the really nice guy picks up. And what happens to her is actually on the poster of Dolls. So there you go. That is number 1. They're not in any order, but this is the first one. Next up is one that is tailor-made for Halloween time watching. It is a great little film. It's got Linnea Quigley. It's got Kathy Podwell. If you're a Dallas fan, you know who she is. I also feel terrible for not getting Manhunter because it's one of my favorite films, PlayStation 9. And now it's out of print, and I am so bummed about that. I'm hoping to find one on a secondary market that isn't too expensive because I've had that in my hand so many times to pick up, and I never picked it up. And by the way, one of the best Lecter films out there. The best version of Hannibal Lecter, still Hannibal the TV series. Tops being the It is pretty cool, huh? But here is Night of the Demons. Now this would become a franchise. We would make 3 of these films, but the first one is definitely, you know, this is the one. If you can only get one, you're going to get Night of the Demons. It is such a cool film. This is, of course, Linnea Quigley's character here. This is Kathy Podwell, who would go on to do other things, but I guess most prominently, like in the last season, few seasons of Dallas, she was like Jerry's last wife in the TV series. Yeah, so far, Dave, we've only got a Blu-ray release for Night of the Demons, and Olive put out Night of the Demons 2, which I do have over there, actually. But this has a new commentary with director Kevin Tenney, Kathy Podwell, Hal Havens, Bill Gallo, and special effects artist Steve Johnson, who I think correct me if I'm wrong, did he not meet Linnea Quigley on here? Because they were together for a while. Steve Johnson and Linnea Quigley were a couple for like a period of time. I'm not quite sure how long they were a couple for, but I remember him talking about it in one of the horror magazines. But they were a couple for a while, and pretty sure this is how we met her. And there was the lipstick scene in this film that everybody remembers. It's pretty unforgettable. Also, this movie has an anthology style, although this is not an anthology film, it has a wraparound. And it's a very clever little wraparound as well, something that I think you guys are going to enjoy. If you've never seen this before, it's a fun little film. The wraparound is awesome. Basically, there's a character that's introduced at the beginning of the film that kind of bookends the end of the film as well. To just give that last little push into like kind of like really cool Halloween urban legend territory. So definitely check this out. It is a fantastic release. It's one of Kevin S. Tenney's best films that he ever made. I would love to see Rumpelstiltskin on Blu-ray, by the way. That needs a special edition release. That's on my dream list of movies that I want to see get a really good special edition release. And that's Rumpelstiltskin, which he did. Not him. Yes, it was him. Was it him? It's the guy did Leprechaun. Or wasn't it? Was the guy did Leprechaun? I think maybe it was the guy did Leprechaun that did Rumpelstiltskin. Either way, I want Rumpelstiltskin on Blu-ray. All right, there is one on here. One that's not a classic release. One where if the series, well, that's coming out, PlayStation 9. That's coming out now. You can pre-order it in August. It will be coming out from Elephant Films in France, but don't worry because the series was in English. Where if the TV series is going to be in English, and subtitles are removable, so you can get it with a 52-page book. If you can't read French, you won't be able to probably read the book, but you can see all the cool pictures. But you have the complete series. Finally, because it's never been legally out before. Like it was kind of put out before, but it wasn't legal. This is the first time you're going to get a legal edition of Where the TV series coming out, by the way. Ready for number 3? Number 3 is one I don't think any of you guys would guess that I put on here, but I was so enamored with this film when I watched it. It's one of those films, sometimes you watch a film and you really like it and you say, this is good, I'm going to watch it again. Oh, did you get the NECA figure? And I watched it like directly afterwards because I just kind of dug it. Hey, welcome back Cubic Lover. And this is Beneath. Beneath is a Larry Fessenden film. Larry Fessenden is one of those indie directors that's kind of gained a name. He's become kind of a cult status over the years. If you are a fan of the PlayStation 4, I think, he did a voice in a very popular game called Just On? But this is really, really good. Oh no, of course not. Not at all, man. Until on. Thank you. I knew you know PlayStation. I just had to say it, and then you get it. But Feston is the voice of the what's his name? Used to be played PlayStation. The guy, not really a transient, but anyway, it's an interesting character. Larry Feston plays the role. But Beneath is a really, really good movie. And if you like aquatic horror, then definitely check this film out because it is a good aquatic horror one. If you are a fan of, I'm sure Rebecca McHenry is probably a fan of this film. She loves aquatic horror. And she does a few different podcasts as well. Really, really good. She's really smart. She used to work for Fangoria for a while. She worked for Blumhouse. I'm not sure if she still works for Blumhouse or not. But she's worked for Blumhouse too. But this is Beneath, an excellent film. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to check it out. It's got a decent cast too. A lot of like unknowns there. And of course, I think the guy from, where's it at? Not unknowns, he's done stuff. Like Chris Conroy did Sorority Row. Mark Margolis is from Breaking Bad. There you go, right there. He's gonna look familiar. Great ending on this film. So there you go. An IFC release. The only IFC release in this collection. Oh, Eric, is definitely worth checking out. Basically, have you ever seen the Raft episode of Tales sort of Creep Show 2? That's his character is very important, Kubrick, because he's the old man in the wheelchair, and his character is explosive. All right, so it's kind of like that, except instead of like a sludge type thing, there's this kind of like primordial, ancient, like kind of like creature. Hey there, Kay. So basically, they are out in this boat, and they realize there's this creature out there that is vicious, is ready to kill them. They quickly lose the oars to the boat, and they're stuck right out there. They can't get in the water. They can't go swim because that thing is going to kill them, and it becomes really tense really quickly. I haven't picked up Orca yet. Orca was actually filmed around like Nova Scotia and Newfoundland, so I really should pick that up. It's like something filmed near where I'm living right now, and I do love that film. Looks like a giant piranha. A little bit different. It's kind of cool though. It looks almost like primitive, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's not like the effects look primitive. I mean like the creature looks like it's supposed to be kind of primitive, like it's like something that was like kind of lost. It's a really unique film, and I don't want to give too much away, but I definitely recommend you check it out. The next two, because these two kind of go together, you kind of can't buy one without the other. You want to get that chocolate and peanut butter goodness in there. And these two, I like because I got t-shirts based on these films. Oh, Eric, you'll thank me. It's a really good film. So we have Silent Night, Deadly Night and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Dolph P. Newman's is bloody great. It is great. It's garbage day. I can't do that right now. But these are fantastic. See, this legitimately is a really good film. Early Rolf Linnea Quigley, by the way. She's the one that gets the horns. But this is a legitimately good film. The creepiest person in this one is definitely the old man at the beginning of the film that scares the little boy. And it's got a slice of sleaze on it as well, with the killer Santa that's robbing the store at the beginning of the film that, assaults the mom and all that type of thing, kills the dad. Really cool film. It got unfairly maligned, but it kind of like was in a good way because people ended up, this became like a classic because people picketed the theaters because, oh no, hey there, JR, Santa's killing everyone. But he wasn't. It was a guy dressed up in a Santa outfit, and there's been lots of that done, like before this and after this. One of the things that makes this like a must-own is Sleigh Bells Ring: The Story of Silent Night, Deadly Night. It is a feature-length documentary on here, and it is utterly fantastic. It is, the controversy is extremely fascinating. You're right, Daniel. And one of the neat things about it is when you're looking through all those like complaints and people that are deriding the film and saying how horrible it is and how it shouldn't exist, one name stands out, and we all know now what the name that stands out. It's Mickey Rooney, who, of course, we now know was in Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 5, The Toy Maker. That a little bit more disturbing in certain ways than this one. Pino, just Kamala. His name's Kamala. Unfortunately, James Harris. He unfortunately passed away today. Just you pause Paul Schrader for me. I am super like honored. Well, yeah, it was a different time back then when Braxton Tiffany's a very different time. All right. Into Darkness is a fantastic documentary, and I do recommend you check it out. Of the Killer Santa and Tales from the Crypt. It's really cool. By the way, Daniel, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, you got to see it. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. What's really good about this one is not just how cheesy the film is, but it's probably my favorite documentary that Scream Factory's put out on any of the releases. The Silent Night, Deadly Night, Sleigh Bells Ring Again documentary on Part 2. It's amazing. I've spoke about it before, so I won't talk about it too much, but as you guys know, as an actor, as someone that wanted to be an actor, this documentary hurt my heart. It really, really did. And made me, and it made me, I won't say tear up, but it almost got me there. Krampus is fun. You're going to enjoy it, man. Always, by the way, guys, whenever you got like videos or vlogs or writing or anything that's coming up, feel free to pimp it here. That's part of the whole community, is to do that. Last couple of days, I've been pimping the hell out of my Patreon exclusive thing. So much some of you guys got tired of it. And I make no, and I still love doing that because I love making that video. We're looking at Adamson next, by the way. So yeah, you got something on here you want to talk about? Feel free to like put a link or a comment or just something there just to let people know what you got going on. Got a podcast? You got a video? That's what this channel is for. We want to like expand the community. Like holiday horror movies. Well, we got 27 minutes of what happened this time. Class of 1984. Excellent film. If you have not seen this, it's a good revenge film. It's got Lisa Langollis, who is one of those kind of Canadian actresses. She's in like a lot of like horror stuff. She was in The Nest. She was in Deadly Eyes. She's got a really good part in this. If you have not seen Class of 1984, it is super cool. It's such a fun film. And it has a great cast. Michael J. Fox got an early role in this one here. Roddy McDowall is in this. He's incredible. Timothy Van Patten is insanely good in this. Oh, your podcast, the Horrorcast. I'll kill her, no filler. Damn straight. Yeah, you post your information about your podcast, man. I think I got that one. Did some breathing exercises. Oh yeah, this is pre-Family Ties. Pre-Family Ties, but after Leo and Me. Extremely good film. This was done back in the early 80s, 1982, so just before Family Ties. I almost froze up there. Did you see that? Did you notice? I kind of noticed. It kind of almost froze. I'm watching you, camera. Next up is a fantastic film. Oh, Leo and Me. Leo and Me was a Canadian TV series that came on before Family Ties. I shouldn't. It's not something that probably a lot of people are going to know. But as Canadian, I do know the shows that he acted on, and it acted on with God, what's his name? A really good actor. Like did a lot of like stage work, but he was really good in a movie called One Night Stand. All right, Hell Night. Everybody, if you like slasher movies at all, and you don't have this movie. Why don't you have this movie? One, this is a really good movie and subverts some of the things that you would normally see. Oh yeah, Michael J. Fox is definitely Canadian. Thanks a lot, Walsh. I'm gonna check one of your episodes tonight. I think I have before, but I'm gonna check one tonight. I'm gonna check one tonight. Did Scavenger Hunt movie before 19? I can't remember now. I'd have to look back. Leo, no, not Lena, Leo and Me. So basically, I think they lived on a houseboat type thing, and it was Michael J. Fox and this actor would become a big actor, like won a Tony Award for Kiss of the Spider Woman. But for me, he's like known for a Canadian horror film called One Night Stand that I desperately want to see get a Blu-ray release. That creeped me out when I was a kid. It was incredible, and the cover of art of it is literally just looks like somebody laying on a bed with a knife kind of poking up through it, like sticking down through it. So this one here is an amazing one. You're always seeing these movies where the people, like where they're like, no, go get the police, go to the police type thing, and they never go to the police, they never call the police, they never do any of that stuff. They're like, oh God, I can't believe that. But in this one here, the character is smart. The character actually says, okay, we're gonna get one guy to run out and go to the police station and get help. We get to see what happens when you do that here. Now this one has delayed this one for a bit, and what's really good, oh, it's a really good one, Kay, is that they literally went out, aside from getting like commentary with the cast and crew, they literally interviewed everybody, pretty much everybody on this film. So Linda Blair's interviewed on here. You get an interview from Vince Van Patten. Jenny Newman's interviewed, I think. Suki Goodwin, I know is for sure, and Peter Barton, who would go on to do soap operas. Hey there, Richard, is interviewed on here. Now what's really neat is, though this is directed by Tom DeSimone, one of the names that you're going to recognize on here is Chuck Russell, of course, who became a famous director afterwards, directing things like Prom Night 2, but more so like for directing The Blob. And did he direct Prom Night 2? Maybe not. He directed The Blob, and he directed Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. So he worked on this. And he worked on this with another guys, and there's like some really interesting stories on here. This has some really, really great special features. I love the cover art for this one here. You want to see the other artwork? This is the original art. So if you had the Anchor Bay release down in the yeah, I think I'm wrong, but I'm working on that one. But Prom Night 2 is, yeah, I'll call Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. I'm wrong about that, Daniel. I'm 100% wrong. I got to check because I think I know I'm wrong. See, I think that, and I'll tell you why I'm wrong. Because I got to get wrong. I got to like get something wrong at least once a day, once per video. Because if I don't, then my track record is ruined. And I'll explain to you how I made this mistake. No, it's Bruce Pittman that directed Prom Night 2. Who is a pretty prolific director of his own and directed a lot of Canadian stuff, including episodes of Mutant X and stuff. So, what happened and how I made that mistake is pretty simple, but it's very Canadian. There was a TV show that used to come on in the afternoons, and they interviewed Chuck Russell and Bruce Pittman for their respective films, and I just thought about it, and I'm like, oh, he directed. And they're like, no, he was on the same show. So yes, there you go, CBC television. Messed me up a bit. All right, next up is an action film. It's a sci-fi, post-apocalyptic action film, but you know what? It's a really, really good one. And this was one that you could find for the longest time at your local Walmarts, and for a very inexpensive price too. And especially when some Screen Factories can get really expensive. This is Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is an Albert Pion film, and it's a really good one. I've done a silent show. No, but I really should. I love this film. It has, what's his name in it? The guy with those creepy eyes, Matthias, right? I know, I thought he was interviewed on here. Maybe he's not interviewed on here. But there's this dude on here that's in this film. He did a few films. But he has this like kind of these really kind of scary eyes type thing. With these really blue eyes, and he's got the long hair. Now you see the director's cut of Cyborg. Actually, isn't it on here? I'm not sure then. But this is super cool. It's such a fun film. There's a lot of action here. Did you get the Canon collection? Is that what you got? Or did you get like an action collection from Shout Factory? But definitely check this one out. There's some good interviews on here as well. Interview with the director, interview with actress Deborah Richter and Vincent Klein. You could actually probably put this one up as a double feature with Nemesis with Olivier Grenier. Would kind of make a really neat double feature. Great documentary on the Canon collection. And so you can see the sexy art on the inside. I don't have to turn around. What is the art on the inside? Maybe I didn't like it. That's a standard art. Let's turn that around. You can't have the same art like on there. It's sacrilege. It's heresy. You get burned at the stake for that type of stuff. He's dubbed in the director's cut. He was dubbed a lot early on. So there you go. Here is the other artwork, the original theatrical poster for Cyborg. Jean-Claude Van Damme actually spent a lot of time like really trying to push himself for Canon Films before they actually did anything with him. So, yeah, it does rule. Why did I not change it around before? I'm losing cred here. All right. Oh, he's not Canadian. He's the muscle from. He was the muscles from Brussels. Hey, IB, well, have a great night there, man. Belgian, thank you. He's got. Apparently, for some reason, back in the day, he wasn't seen as like a very like he was seen as like a good at good at what he did, but he wasn't seen as a particularly smart person. So he would get like made fun of a bit, especially in like over in Europe and France and that. They made fun of him a lot, but he kind of showed them with the stuff that he's done since then. Because he's done amazing stuff. Oh yeah, well he's Belgian, see? So he would speak French. Classic, classic, classic. Everybody must own this film. And that is Valentine. Valentine is an excellent slasher film that got lost because it came out when there was a whole glut, after the whole glut of slasher films. Jamie Blanks, that directed this film, is a huge fanboy of the slasher genre. So there was really nobody better to come in and make like an 80s style slasher film. Unfortunately, he made an 80s style slasher film in the year 2000. And unfortunately, this was after like Scream came out in 1996. And right after Scream, we seen like a big glut of like slasher films. And not all of them were good. So by the time Valentine came around, even though it had an incredible all-star cast to it, have a great evening there. What happened here is it was just came in at the wrong time. Cast-wise, though, you got Denise Richards on here, David Boreanaz from Buffy, Katherine Heigl, Marley Shelton. Of course, she would be in Scream 4 more recently. Hey, Mike, welcome, man. Is The Purge considered a slasher? The first one, not the rest. But I would consider it a home invasion film. Because they literally invade the home, right? So we'll go with home invasion. That's what it is. But Valentine, if you don't have this movie, get this movie. It's really cool. Love the ending of this film. Some great special features, including a brand new commentary and brand new interviews with Jessica Caulfield, Denise Richards, and Marley Shelton on here as well. Sugar and Spice, man, I haven't heard that one in a while. And yes, it does need a good release. Is there a remake of Valentine? No, there's not. And I hope there never is. But I'd like to see a sequel down the road sometimes. Maybe. But here we go, Urban Legend. This is an excellent film. And you know who did this one? Also Jamie Blanks. This one got a bit more like publicity than this one. A great cast too. Robert Englund has a role in this one here. There is Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville. Tara Reid, Loretta Devine, who would go into the second one. Joshua Jackson, of course, from Dawson's Creek. Rebecca Gayheart, Alicia Witt, Jared Leto is in this one as well. Just an incredibly varied and great cast. A really cool premise where basically you got a killer that's killing people using urban legends. Danielle Harris, this was kind of like, for me, this was the first adult role that I'd seen her in. And it was a very different role for me, like I haven't seen her in when she was a kid. And she was super hot in this film. She's like the goth roommate. So really cool film. Artwork on the inside. Well, it's the obvious. I haven't changed this one around either. Son of a... Okay. I'm slacking, guys. I'm slacking on my changing around artwork ability. How is this happening to me? There's no excuse not to change around the artwork when it's like a collector's edition and you got a slipcover. Thank God I made this video tonight, for if I had not, I would have slacked off forever. This is the original artwork for Urban Legend, and it's really cool. There was a lot of these like what you call like head posters, where basically they show the artwork of like, you know, they just show like a bunch of heads like Scream did. But I think they had a unique way of doing it here, so I kind of like that with the shattered glass, shattered mirror thing. Super cool. Hey there, Dave. All right, hit the next one. If you've watched this video since the beginning, I was kind of freaked out. Even skip the third, I agree. Even talking about this one. And yet, limited edition steelbooks are on sale right now from Shout Factory. So last night, I was worried this was going to be something I'd be going through. And this is The Strangers. If you've watched my video since the beginning, you know exactly. The story told at the beginning of the video is true. And I honestly, because of it, got a little creeped out of bringing this one over here to show. That's the truth. Because we had somebody knock on our door yesterday, and it kept me up till 4 o'clock in the morning. But Strangers is a great release. It has both the theatrical cut on here, and it has the unrated cut as well. There are new interviews with the director, deleted scenes, interviews with Kip Weeks and Laura Margolis, who acted in the film. I actually love the sequel to this as well. I thought it was really good and a real throwback to 80s slasher films. But as home invasion movies go, this is one of the best. It is definitely one of the great home invasion films. Right up there with the French film Il, right? Them, in other words. It's other commentaries on Halloween Big Box Set. Nice. The only, I guess, we'll call him we'll do a big director thing for this one is Raising Cain. Oh, Brian, you got to get on Strangers. But Raising Cain is one of Brian De Palma's lost films, really. It doesn't get talked about enough. And you know what? It's actually really, really good. It's got a great performance by John Lithgow. Every performance by John Lithgow is great. I really got to watch Perry Mason. He's in that, and I'm looking forward to seeing Perry Mason. But this was an excellent, excellent one. I enjoy this film. I especially really, really love the ending shot of this film. It's got a great... Brian De Palma's good with this. I love the movie Body Double, right? That's a Brian De Palma film. But Body Double has one of the most kind of infuriating endings for any of his films. Which is kind of strange, if you know what I mean. If you've seen Body Double, you know what I mean by the ending. Great film, and then the ending comes up, you're like, what the hell's that? But Raising Cain, Amy, you definitely got to give the rewatch. Really cool. I forgot how good this was. It's one of those where you've kind of like, you watch and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And then you see it like years later and you're like, you know what, that's really freaking good. With John Lithgow, Lolita Davidovich, Stephen Bauer, with a score by Pino Donaggio. Just an amazing film from Brian De Palma. Now we're getting some classics again. We'll start off with here is Stuart Gordon. 2 Stuart Gordon films on this list. So you gotta look into Stuart Gordon. You know what's needed? Necronomicon. We need a good release of Necronomicon. Jeffrey Combs, great in that. Necronomicon. It's an anthology film that deserves a good release. So this is From Beyond. Love this movie. I talked about it with the big Lovecraft fan. This is a really good one. Okay, if you like Barbara Crampton, and by the way, if there is an actress that has ever like stood the test of time, then it's definitely Barbara Crampton. Because man, it's like she drank through the fountain of youth. She looks incredible. Did the director of the Gamera trilogy do one of the? See, if anybody has not seen the Heisei Gamera films, by the way, those are some of the. I'm gonna say it here, best kaiju films, especially best of like more. I won't say modern, but 90s kaiju films that came out. And I'm gonna put it out there. I'm going to hit that territory. You ready? I think that the Gamera Heisei films may actually be better than the Godzilla Heisei films. Oh, PlayStation, you haven't seen the third one? Oh, the third one's like the best. It's the Revenge Virus. Even better than you hate. It's true, but it's true. That's the thing. They are so good. Why am I not seeing the comments now? Okay, because this is going on. See, sometimes I can't let the comments go really quickly, or this happens and it freezes up on me. But always, you can always super chat me. I love the strangers. I do. It freaks me out, but I love it. It makes me really really nervous to watch. Oh, the Ohm collection you need to get, Eric. It's really really good. From Beyond, though, I actually got to speak with Jeffrey Coombs when I was in St. John's, and he came to a convention there. And when I was talking to him, he basically talked about the fact that he thought he was miscast in the film. He thought that the guy that starred with him in Reanimator would have been a better choice for the role. But I thought, no, this is my favorite film that you did. Not my favorite artwork, but it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. PlayStation, I have to say, is Cowboys War a good film? I really like Cowboys War, actually. I thought it was a really good film. See, I got to disagree because the sense of dread for me in Omen comes in the second film. Like, I like the first film. It's a classic. Love the way it's done. It's well constructed and stuff. But maybe, Amy, because part of the reason for me when it comes to Omen 2 is I saw Omen 2. I was the exact same age as the kid, like Damien, in Omen 2. And it like bothered me. I understood that kind of like when you're a teen and you don't feel like you fit and you're not quite sure where you fit. And in Omen 2, he's got a really good reason not to fit. He's the devil's son. Did I like Omen 4? I'm the only person in the world that likes Omen 4, to be honest with you. I think it's me. I think I'm a fan club of one for that film. It's cheesy fun, but I think you got to go and know on one. Well, it's a Showtime movie. It's a showcase. Like basically, it was done for TV. So you have to know that going in, and it's flipping things around a bit. But I thought it was fun. Michael Lerner's in. I'm a big fan of Michael Lerner. So there's things I like about it. Is it a great film? No, but it's just a fun film. I never take one like that too seriously. I understand though, like most people would say it's meh or not like it at all, but that's just me. I actually just enjoyed it. But I enjoy a lot of films that a lot of people don't enjoy, but I make no bones about that. It's something I'm actually extremely proud of. Fan club of one, yeah. There you go. So that there. You can put that on like if they ever re-release it. Yeah, it's true. The remake was, when people say unnecessary remakes, and it was a great casting on the remake, by the way. That was a pretty unnecessary remake. You can put that on Omen 4, right? Aaron Pinn, Call to Cinema, fan club of one, loves this film. Do I think Criterion release Rodan and War of the Gargantuans? Yes, 110%. I'm pretty sure they're getting released. They hinted at it early on. They got to be stinging a bit with the fact that they put out an amazing Godzilla set, and then Arrow came along and said, "Hold my beer," and put out the Gamera set. That, let's be honest, it's everything that I think people wanted the Godzilla set to be. And I love the Godzilla set. There's some great essays on there, the features that they could get, and Toho is pretty like iron fisted when it comes to that. I'm very proud to have the Godzilla Shoho era one in my collection, but I'm very excited to get the Gamera set in my collection because I know that there's a lot of love gone into that set. And if you have not watched it, Matt Frank, that did the artwork for the Gamera set, and by the way, it's bloody brilliant artwork, does an unboxing on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel of this set. And I have never seen a more happy, glorified unboxing. It's something to watch. Like, if you're in a down mood, definitely watch that. Matt Frank, by the way, is an artist. He did the artwork for the Gamera set, but he's not just an artist. He's a kaiju fan. He's a super fan. In fact, when he was 10 years old, he wrote in and got his letter put in to Dark Horse Comics for a Gamera, for one of the Gamera comics that came out. And you know what? When they reprinted all the comics in the Gamera set, they also reprinted the letters pages as well. And among those letters is one there from a 10-year-old Matt Franks, who is talking about how much he loves the comic, how much he loves Gamera, and here he is years later, pretty much like doing a commentary for it, doing all the artwork for it. That's the dream, right? To actually do that. So Matt Frank, I know you're not seeing this, but you put a smile on mine and my better half's face tonight, and it was definitely genuine. Next up is the classic Terror Train. This is a good one. I think Scorpion Releasing has the rights to this one now. So if you can't get this one, then there's a Scorpion Releasing edition of this. This is one of their earliest releases, one of the very first that they put out. This movie freaked me out when I was a kid. If you've been watching my channel since the beginning, then there's a channel called Absolute Sublime, and he shows a lot of I gotta check something here. I'm kind of curious now. So he had me in an early video of his, basically what movie scared you when you was a kid for Halloween. And he still does his, I haven't seen this. I've missed out on a lot of his videos, but definitely, so he had me in there, and I talked about this movie right here. So basically, I did this tape segment talking about which movie scared me, and it was put in along with a lot of other YouTubers, and it was Terror Train. And the reason this movie scared me so much when I was a kid was because I went out on Halloween, and I came back and I started to watch this film. My parents decided, my mom and my stepdad decided at the time that this was going to be too creepy for me to watch, so they sent me to bed. My bed, however, was right next to the living room. So it was right next to the TV. They, however, thought wow, this Terror Train movie sounds pretty good. So they sat down, got some snacks, and just watched Terror Train. Turned up on max. I can't see the film. I can just hear it. So the movie in my head, way scarier than the movie on here, but still, it's a fun film, and I love the fact that the killer keeps changing his outfit. Really well done. And some creepy outfits that actually kind of creeped me out when I was a kid. Yes, Brian, my son has a YouTube channel, and it is Loch West Monster, and he does game videos, kind of like Let's Plays. His first one was on Minecraft, and I gotta say, I watched it afterwards, and he's really natural. Thank you. So he's got natural flow to him, and that's They're 10 minutes. Well, you know the one because it'll be the one that talks about Gamera and has a lot of kaiju stuff. JR on his on his videos. So look for Matt Frank Gamera unboxing. That's the way to find it. But yeah, so this one's out of print now, but the Scorpion Releasing one is definitely still in print, I think. As you can see, I have the original with the slipcover. I'm bragging here. I'm bragging. And the sexy yellow sticker. Kept the yellow sticker. Hard to keep these in. Oh, Skyrim is so fun. I love Skyrim. Some people know, but don't care. I'm also a gamer. I don't, but I don't do a channel for that. I kind of I just retro collect myself, and I randomly do video game like collection things every once in a while here. But my son and my daughter, both super hardcore gamers, and they really know their stuff. So if you haven't checked out, or let your daughter know about my son's channel, because it's going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited, proud dad. All right, there are just two more left, and they definitely have a connection. So first off is Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. One, the cover for this is utterly fantastic. It is gorgeous. It is some of the best art that they did. Two, this is such an underrated film. It is so fun. If you've not seen Demon Knight, I really, really recommend it. It's super cool. Billy Zane and William Sadler definitely steal the show. But you got Jada Pinkett Smith, Brenda Bach, and CCH Pounder, and Thomas Hayden Church on this as well. It is so well done. Directed by, of course, Ernest Dickinson. Mike, thank you. When I finish, I always do a quick recap, so don't worry. That's coming up. Demon Knight, 100% you should own this one. Look at the features. Look at those features. That's my Vanna thing. There's two audio commentaries on here. There's a really cool making of called Under Siege, Making Demon Knight. Really well done. A lot of great stuff. I think Dick Miller was in this one too, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure Dick Miller has a role in this film. I know Charles Fleischer does. And last, but no, yep. And he also, my son's channel is called Loch, L-O-C-H, Wes Monster, because Wesley. So I think that's pretty clever, actually. So next up is Bordello of Blood, which is another fun little Tales from the Crypt one. I really wish they would have put out Rituals, which was the third one. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. We are working on our second video, actually coming up soon, for the Patreon channel, and we're going to be doing one where we think we're going to be doing an Al Adamson one for sure. We're going to put up like a poll, and we're going to be doing eventually a monster movie, we want to do like a monster movie one, whether it's going to be Gamera or Godzilla. We're going to pick one of the really, really cheesy ones. We're going to put up a poll for that as well. Pretty good. I mean, I have 14 patrons on there now, who I will name right now because before I go into the last movie, because they deserve the shout out. So Action Jackman, Brent, Brian, Dale, Dr. Mark, Mad Scientist, JR, right there. I think you're the first person JR to watch the videos too. The three Ryans now, because there's three Ryans: Shadow Price, Lisa Crow, Mary Sullivan, and Drax. Thank you so much. It's been awesome, and what's been even even better is that right now 13 of my 14 Patreon subscribers have gone in and watched that exclusive video, and I've been getting pretty good. We've been getting some pretty good feedback on it as well. My better half, and we try to be hilarious. We try to be good, and we try to do a good review. So hopefully we did. So Bordello of Blood, super fun. Dennis Miller, bit of a dick, but it works. That's his thing, right? That's his stick. Dennis Miller is one of those really kind of seem to be really smart comedians, but he just seemed to lose it a bit. But I do like him in this. He's really, really good in this. Good cast. Dennis Miller, Erica Eleniak, Angie Everhart, Corey Feldman. A good role for Corey Feldman too. Chris Sarandon. Great role for Chris Sarandon. So you just got to check it out. It is a really, really cool film. And the special features on here are excellent. Not me either, actually. That's the thing. If you're not a fan of Dennis Miller training, then you're really going to want to check this out because there's a lot of people making this movie that were not huge fans of Dennis Miller. That's actually true. He was as problematic on the set as you think he would be, but apparently it worked for the film. She kisses every time. That was Eric Kaleniak. Cool. So how was Corey Feldman when you met him? Because see, I would like to meet Corey Feldman. Was he cool? I think you're right, actually. Because, quote, yeah, see, that's what I think. People say that like, oh, this person's not going to be really, really nice or stuff. Like, people always told me Tom Savini was going to be nice. I met Tom Savini, great guy, by the way. I always say that because I always get like people come on here and say, well, Tom Savini's a dick. No, I met him. I spoke with him quite a few times during a convention. And he was one of the nicest guys that I met convention-wise. Him and Doug Bradley, just super nice guys. You got most. See, you have great taste, Brian. I'm going to say that right now. So let's go over them one more time so you guys can know exactly, if you came in late, know exactly what was listed. So, trying to get this up here. Bordello of Blood. Demon Knight. Terror Train. Out of print, but Scorpion releasing as one, so don't worry about that. You guys will get it anyway. From Beyond. The highly underrated Raising Cain. Still freaking me out. This cover freaks me out more than anything. The Strangers. This one here scared me. And still scares me. Urban Legend. Excellent slasher film. Valentine. Another excellent slasher film from the same director. Cyborg. Great film from Albert Pion. Hell Knight. Everybody needs to own this one. Is it really far better than Scorpions? I don't have the Scorpion one, so I have nothing to compare it to. But I do love their transfer, actually. Class of 1984. Silent Night, Deadly Night, Parts 1 and 2. Larry Fessenden's Beneath. Really recommend this film. Night of the Demons with Kevin Tenney. And last but not least, the incredible movie Dolls from Stuart Gordon. An excellent release. So there you go. 16 screen, make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, I was right. 16 Scream Factories you should have in your collection. Heather Scotter. You got them all, Trini? Good. Good taste. Excellent. Well, I'm not gone yet. Don't prematurely. I don't have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I have the Arrow edition of it. I almost put Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation on the list, though, because although it's not a great film, it's a fun film. Definitely, yeah, thumbs up, please. If you're here and you're liking this video, please hit that like button-y thing, because the more likes that go onto a video, the more it pushes it up in the algorithm. And what does that do? Well, it lets you guys know when I'm making another video, because YouTube will go, oh, people are watching these videos. We can tell by that little thumbs thing. And no, that's cool, man. So it's a cool way to find out. One day closer to that Friday 13th box set. I'm super stoked about that. Is there anybody here not getting the Friday 13th box set? It's better to ask that way, than ask who's getting it. Who's not getting the Friday 13th box that's coming from Scream Factory in October? Because Hey, entertainment. Welcome, man. EW. Oh, there's always someone on here that does the thumbs down. But yet they come in and watch, so. Still got your view. Hi, Jay. Would I double dip if certain movies made it to 4K? It depends on the film, really. Like if a Black Christmas 4K came out, like the 1974 film, in a heartbeat. As I have a million copies of Halloween. Halloween came out on 4K. I was there when it came out. So like, it'll really depend on the film. I won't buy a 4K transfer of a Blu-ray on Blu-ray because it's just downgraded to 1080p anyway. But I will buy like new editions. Two Merit Bava DVD sets, DVD boxes, 13 movies. Amy, was that the were those the Anchor Bay ones that came out? You don't. But that's because you're saving though. You're doing it because you're saving, which is understandable. But are you sure it's pretty sexy? Waiting for Best Buy Canada to get the new 4K Halloween 19. Oh, it looks sexy. The 19. If you haven't seen it, there's a really cool looking like steelbook coming out for Halloween, the original Halloween film. It's a Best Buy exclusive. It's been shown online. It's really sexy looking. If you like steelbooks, entertainment, right now Screen Factory is having a steelbook sale on their website. So and like some of them are actually pretty inexpensive too. So they're having a big steelbook sale on the website because and I think some of them might be going out of print. So Buckaroo Banzai, I was told anyway on here, is going out of print. So a good way to grab it might be that steelbook before it goes to the print. And there is like a really cool looking Buckaroo Banzai steelbook out there. I had it in my hands a few times and I didn't pick it up. It was only like 20 bucks, so I should have picked it up. There's no excuse. That's a really, really good movie. Not quite sure why I didn't pick it up. I heard something in the background. It kind of freaked me out. No, I don't see there being a DVD box set. This is going to be one of those limited edition things where they're going to have the rights for a certain period of time. And it'll go to print, same as the Halloween set. You want to kind of want the Russ Thorne figure? It is a cool thing. I mean, like, I'm a huge Slumber Party Massacre fan. For those that don't know, I'm pretty much like, same as like Friday 13th, I'm the biggest Slumber Party Massacre fan that you're going to meet. And it bleeds over to Sorority House Massacre because in the sequels, they really do kind of use the Slumber Party Massacre a lot in Sorority House Massacre sequels because there's Sorority House Massacre 1, Sorority House Massacre 2, and there's Hard to Die. And there's like Slumber Party Massacre 1, 2, and 3. It's kind of a 4, but I don't really count it. But it's interesting to see Russ Thorne. And he's a beat poet, right? So apparently, when they wanted to interview him for like doing a new interview when they were kind of putting Slumber Party Massacre on Blu-ray, then he wanted I think he wanted to do one of his poems or something like that. So is it on there? Like if anybody's got the Blu-ray, let me know. Does he do a poem? Does he like say one of his poems on the Blu-ray edition? I don't have it, so I can't verify it. I'm a horrible poet. I'm a good writer. I can write horror. I can write science fiction. I've ghostwritten things, like especially like like doing up dialogue stuff like that for some films, like a long time ago. But poetry is something that I am not very good at. I super suck at it. Don't tell anyone. Best Buy. Yeah. Yeah, I understand, Dave. I understand the pain of going to a Best Buy person and ask them, hey, do you have this film, or do you have this steelbook, or do you have this digibook, and have them look at you with this blank, vacant look where it's like, unfortunately, and I'm a guy that worked for Best Buy, by the way. So I went through the whole Best Buy training thing. I watched that video. Remember that? I'm not sure if anybody here who ever worked for Best Buy, but I watched the Best Buy training video, and that was fun. Best Buy was one of my best jobs that I ever had. I was in Ottawa. It was a great Best Buy. A lot of CSI watching, and a lot of Xbox playing because we worked overnights. So basically, we had to wait for like stock to come in. Do we have a union? I don't remember. I actually don't, I really don't remember. If we did, I probably didn't avail of it. Unfortunately, when I worked at Best Buy, not the happiest story to end with it on, but my grandfather, who had raised me, passed away, and it messed me up a bit. I was up in Ottawa, and my grandfather's back in Newfoundland. He passed away, and it became tough because I couldn't get back home. I'd just gotten up to Ontario and taken every cent I had at the time, so I couldn't get back to go to the funeral, and yeah, Best Buy was graded with 95. I got to agree with that too. Best Buy needs to improve a lot more right now, actually. But yeah, for working as a stock buyer, and it was cool. I mean, like at the end of the day, it was kind of fun. I did overnights, and overnights was amazing. Doing the end cap, I was there when like the Xbox came out. Was the Xbox or Xbox 360? One of them, when the Xboxes came out. It was an insane time. Like you were like everybody was there. It was like you think there was no chance of social distance in that. But obviously we didn't need to back then. But it was like so many people, and they were all like coming in, grabbing the Xboxes, grabbing the controllers, getting the games, all that type of stuff. Yeah, they used to have like an amazing long, extensive like DVD racks. I remember going there to buy buy movies, and just I could just go like spending hours just going through all the movies that were there. And unfortunately, sadly now it's depleted to almost like nothing. So to PS2, that is quite a jump. Unfortunately, Best Buy bought out the Canadian chain Future Shop, and they kept them around for a while. Then they just randomly closed them. Future Shop, by the way, if you're in Canada, then you're gonna know that Future Shop is like Best Buy, but a way better version of Best Buy. Only had one bad experience with Future Shop, and that's because it's done at Best Buy. You get a salaried wage. At Future Shop, it works on commission, right? So this particular salesperson was really, really mean to my better half, and so we left there, and she was upset, and she was literally like crying. There was tears, kind of, because she was just, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna go back there. And she was gonna buy. She was buying something really big, like a high ticket appliance, but to be blunt, to be honest with you, he was a racist dick, and so she was like, "No, let's leave it." But not me. That's my family. That's my better half. I immediately, as soon as we left the store, I called and spoke to the manager of the store and had a long, long conversation, and which ended with us turning around the car and going back, so that this guy could come up and apologize in person, right in front of everybody in that store, including his manager and all the people around him. That got done. I'm proud of that. Hey there, Jason. Welcome, man. I'm also proud of the fact that I I didn't hit him, and I wanted to so bad. They're like Future Shop though, like another good, like that's kind of good. Used to have a lot of Scream Factory. You'd have a lot of like box sets. You'd have a lot of like the Hanna-Barbera stuff, like so much really cool stuff. There, I bought so many. I bought like Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Like I got the first 3 seasons of it, and I went back. I was going to go back and get the fourth season because it. And there's like a few different things like sets and stuff, and I was really excited. We were going. I had actually gotten some extra money that day for on my paycheck, and we were driving up to Future Shop, and we couldn't believe it. It was closed. Future Shop was just Canadian. It's kind of like Circuit Cities in the U.S., right? So it was closed, and closed down, and we couldn't believe it. It was just closed down. There's no like warning, no sign, nothing ahead of time. Target Target wasn't smart. Target had to ride it out longer than they did. Target was here for a very short period of time. Uh, if Target had stayed and worked on their business model a bit, rather than just kind of pull out the way that they did, I think they would have been extremely successful. It's just that business is what that's my jam. That's what I went to school for. But when they expanded into Canada, they took over from where Zellers was. Uh, there's a lot of things that they could have done differently, but really, overall, when you expand like that into a new region, there's different things that are going to be done. You got to roll that dice. You got to be in it for the long haul. You can't have a 2 or 3 year plan for a major rollout like that, and then just go, no, we're going to cancel it. We're going to wipe it clean, because you're going to lose more than you're going to gain in the long run. And in the long run, I think they would have gained tremendously. But unfortunately, they decided to just say, nope, we're just gonna. Zellers. I worked at Zellers Entertainment. I worked at all these places. Zellers is my favorite. Like Kmart when I was a kid was my favorite store, but I love Kmart, man. Kmart was my jam. But I love Zellers. I worked at Zellers. I worked in the complaints return desk at Zellers, and I worked on training other people when they came in, like on cash and that. It was a really great place to work. Um, Alice Cooper came in. He was doing a concert, and he came in because Zellers cafeteria, Zellers Cafe, it's the bomb. Uh, it their fries and gravy, their apple pie a la mode, so good. So yeah, so Alice Cooper comes in, right? Season 1 and season 2 of Republic of Dial. Nice. Of course. I actually, Mike, that show was shot in St. John's. That's where I was. That's where I lived actually for most of my YouTube career here is done in St. John's. So yeah, It's basically for guys that have never seen. Let's right here, Republic of Dial. This is pretty much like the Canadian version, the Newfoundland version of a little show called Rockford Files. It's kind of like that. Really good film show. Really well done. A great cast. There's the cast right there in the back. Alan Doyle is like he's the detective. Republic of Doyle. Alan Doyle. What's his character's name? We'll just say Doyle. Jake Doyle. That's what it's. Jake Doyle. Alan Doyle is like a singer. Uh, really, really enjoyed the show. Nicholas Campbell's in this as well. Like I know he does, I guess, spot on this at least. Well, really, really fun series. If you haven't checked it out, you really should. Republic of Dial, guys. Great Canadian show. So, the Alice Cooper story. I forgot. Sorry. So anyway, so Alice Cooper comes, right? I'm super excited because, I love the Poison album. I love the whole Man Behind the Mask thing, all that type of stuff. Everyone else 6 seasons. I got to get one. I don't have them all. I only got the first season or two. So he comes. I'm super excited. I'm going to get his latest album. I'm going to get it signed. Going to speak to him all that stuff. He's already gone through he's walked through the mall, right? And my sister at the time, my youngest sister, was working at at the phone place, and he came in there. She actually spoke to him. So, but the one that was working above me, who did not know who Alice Cooper was, by the way, said, "Oh," she went over. She picked up one of the CDs that he did, and I think for purely monetary purposes, 'cause she didn't care about Alice Cooper and telling that, she said, "Oh, you watch this here. I have to go speak with Alice Cooper," and I was so pissed off. So I missed out on seeing him. I missed some of your comments there, but by the way, guys, I do apologize. Yeah, Ellen Dye was in it. Almost everybody gets started in like that show. They get the Universal Monsters Blu-ray set. I only got the essential one, like in the coffin box set from England. I don't have the big one with all the films. Though I do have all the films, but I just don't have the Blu-ray edition. Oh, and EW, you live in Ottawa? What area of Ottawa are you in? So, just so you know, I used to live in Ottawa, and I worked at the Best Buy on Maryville Road. So if you know Maryville Road, and you're in Ottawa, so I'm pretty sure you do, then you know the Best Buy that I used to work at was actually a huge one, right there by Montana's is really close to it. Somebody mentioned poutine, and I think it was Cubic Lover. Poutine is the food of the gods. I love poutine. But you don't go getting McDonald's poutine. Just putting that out there. Don't go get McDonald's poutine. That's not what you want. Real poutine. You want good poutine. You want to go to like the Smokes, which is like this poutine like restaurant, and they like have all these different type of poutines. You got like the pulled pork poutines and all the different types of stuff you can get. Or you want to go to like there's this really good chip truck in Ottawa called the Best Fries in the World. Oh, in Canada it does. Not really good poutine. Wendy's poutine's a little bit better. But you want to get like good poutine. Poutine is well. Five Guys and Shake Shack? But I know I randomly saw that up there. Have I been through a lot of Canada? Yeah, pretty much all of it except for BC actually. And I really would love to go to BC. You've been to Best Buy Maryville? I used to work there, man. Maryville Road was like I lived close to Maryville Road, so I lived in like the sketchier part of town, to the point where when I went back to show my better half where I used to live, she we literally went online and we Googled, this is so funny. We Googled it and said stabbing in this area, high crime rate, high murder part in this part of Ottawa. And I never had any problems when I was there. Well, I had a gun put on me once, but aside from that, didn't have any problems. So when we got there, she stayed in the car and she locked the doors. And I was just walking through where I used to live and seeing if some people that I used to know were still there, type of thing. And there's this dude, right? And it looks like this big biker type dude. And he's got he's not it's a hot day, so he's not wearing a shirt. He's got all these tats all over him. And he's talking to this other guy who's got this big beard. They're huge guys. But I guess I have no fear. So I just went up there and I spoke to him. I said, so does this person still live here? And she hadn't. She'd moved away. And he said, I'm not going to be living here too soon. He said, this place is freaking me out. I'm like, it's kind of scaring me a bit. Just up the road there by the store, which used to be that's the Quick Mart now, but it used to be one of those 7-Elevens. I said, somebody got stabbed over there, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, so yeah, I'm moving out next week. So the big burly dude was moving out. So I guess it got even creepier when I. Oh hell yeah, Great Big Sea is an awesome band. Eat some pizza like these live streams. Is that like why pizza? To keep me like energized? That's what all that maple syrup Coke was for. Do you have Der Wiener Schnitzels? No, actually, that almost seems like I've never heard of Der Wiener Schnitzels, but it almost seems like like a place like be kind of uh, that you'd see like in like kind of as a spoof place. But I know it's a real place. Japan's supposed to be extremely safe. Yeah, that's like Morocco, because like a lot of these places like tourists is like well especially I know tourists are huge over Morocco. So if anybody like kind of would get aggressive with the tourist, oh you do not well, you don't want to do that in Morocco. They have the scam things like they all have, like the grifting things in all the places. Every country's got their own little like con section that you do. Like you don't get no hell no. Get kidnapped? Are you serious? Do you know what would happen if somebody from Morocco kidnapped somebody? See, it is a tourist area. Tourism is very very vital to their industry. That's their main industry. Um, Tourists will never rarely like get hurt in like an area in an area like Morocco. But if you are somebody that messes with that industry, then you're yeah, things are not going to go well for you if you're going to try and kidnap somebody because then something's put on the radar like oh you know yeah the those that's not a that's luckily not a thing. Definitely, Mike. If I went, I eventually got to get to BC. I would love to go there. I was in college, and I was there's this girl, and she wanted me actually at the time to because I wanted to act right. She wanted me to move to BC with her and like kind of act there. Well, some of the movies are probably like a little bit like not supposed to, but it's good to know the right people. We'll put it at that. It is good. It is good to know the right people. So some of my vinegar syndrome stuff may not be totally legal there, but Rockamole's a great cartoon character. I think I can't disagree with that. You sculptor, yeah, right. That's the thing. I was like, because first time I went there, I was like, I had the same things, like what's it going to be like, how are people going to respond in certain areas? Because I've gone to places before where, like, I'm lucky, and I'm Canadian, so and I don't take that for granted when I travel. That because I am often, yeah, we're lucky that way. People have been extremely nice to us. I haven't been to the Marinette Trench, but I do love the band Marinette Trench. Especially that album. What was it called? I got it on here. Masterpiece Theater, one of my favorite albums. Have I been to the moon? I have not. I'd love to go there though. I just, if I could do it, I'd rope the moon for you. Yeah, love to go to a lot of places. My favorite place that I've ever been, well, I love Morocco and I love London. You guys know that. I'm a huge, huge Anglophile. My favorite place in Morocco is a place called Essaouira. So if you ever go to Morocco, like aside from Marrakesh, which you're going to want to go to because it's like, and of course Casablanca, you know, the big like urban centers. A lot of like nightclubs, a lot of dancing and drinking and stuff like that there. That was from Wonderful Life. My daughter actually like went to like a Mariners Trench show, and afterwards down on it was in St. John's, so she went to George Street, which is like the big like bar area, like street in our area. Actually, the biggest bar street in like all of Canada, and she like hung out with the band for a little bit, just like chatting a bit. They're really nice, actually. But there you go. At 91 minutes, the length, the sweet spot for a horror film, for a slasher film. I've got to go put back those movies, including The Strangers, which, by the way, still going to freak me out tonight. Not going to lie. Yesterday's experience has been sticking with me a bit. It's that time. It is that time this time, Ryan. You're right. Anyway, thanks for coming in. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, like, share, subscribe, all that goodness. And if you want to, and if you can, definitely check out my Patreon channel with the exclusive I Made My Wife Watch video series that we're doing right now, and some upcoming Versus videos as well that are going to be exclusive to the channel. I am Aaron. This is my movie library. We are polite. We are super polite. You are the call to cinema. You guys rock. Even the guy that dislikes, you know. We don't really rock because you dislike. So, but you know, you do you. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you soon.